Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. We're at the 47th Street Theater to bring you a sneak peek and to meet the company of Mrs. Smith's Broadway Cat-tacular, which will run from July 10th through September 20th. Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's terrific to be here. I am gobsmacked that members of the international press and blogosphere are here today to cover our little show. I'm so delighted. I know it's early in the morning for you. It's early for me. My name is Mrs. Smith. You don't know me and I don't know you, and that don't matter. It doesn't matter, because here's the thing. Yes, I'm the titular character in an Off Broadway spectacular that's about to sweep the city and take it by storm. But this show is not about me. None of this is about me. And this is where you need to really zero in, okay? Turn off the Twitter for a second, turn off the Tumblr, zero in, all right? Millennial generation, please focus. The most important thing you need to know about this show, it's a really simple plot point. Really simple, but it's real, and it's my life. And the most important fact you need to know about this story is that 2.5 years ago, my cat, Carlisle, went missing. Now, he disappeared without a trace, leaving a chasm in my heart. And if any of you have any information, take off your journalist hat, stop being, dispassionate observers, be a human. Be a human listening to another human being. If you have any information on the whereabouts of this cat, please tackle me after this press event. Tackle me during this press event.
This is great. Say, how do you feel today?
I am thrilled. This is the most exciting thing in a long time, to hit 47th Street.
What a great theater.
It's amazing. It's this perfect little jewel box. I live down the street. I've come here for years, and I said, this is the show that needs to be in that theater.
Well, I saw this show down at the Laurie Beachman.
Oh, yeah.
What's the whole experience been like with moving it from there and now putting it together for the theater?
We actually started the show 3.5 years ago in Minneapolis, and we took it to ART, and then we took it to the Beachman. We've sort of taken it from basements to huge concert halls, and now we're in our own little postage stamp theater. It's been a dream.
And working on this show, what it's meant to you?
What it means to me? Working on this show means to me a combination of all the elements of musical theater. It's amazing talent, it's funny, it's engaging, it's something that really stirs you.
And talk about working with David, the actor.
David Hanbury is a genius. There is no one like David Hanbury. And he sings, he dances, he plays electric virtuosic guitar. It's mind-boggling how sharp Mrs. Smith can be, and yet driving through the whole show.
And I love the set you put together here.
Thanks. Mrs. Smith engaged her Broadway boys, and they got out the old tape and glue and a little styrofoam, and put on a huge theater, a huge set.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this to an audience here in New York?
I can't wait for the New York audiences to see Mrs. Smith and experience it. It's something that has to be done live.
And this show is not only about raising awareness about Carlisle's disappearance, it's also a kind of a channel for the grief and the rage that I feel over life without him. I've always found performing to be a catharsis, and this show, I'm really gonna cathart all over you.
What's this week been like? You're in tech, you start performances on Friday. What's this whole week been like?
This has been a whirlwind. We got into the theater yesterday, and now it's just all the elements, all happening all at once. And so we're just going to be spit out the end of it on Friday night, and once we get an audience, it's going to be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's the last piece of the puzzle. I think that's what's going to really elevate us to the next level is the audience reaction. The show really it kind of relies on that, because it's such a great give and take energy. And yeah, I'm just super excited. It's a very big little show. There's a lot of elements to it. There's a lot of props. There's a lot of set, and I just think it's going to be fantastic.
What's it been like working with Mrs. Smith?
Mrs. Smith really makes you bring out the best in yourself, honestly. Mrs. Smith is an incredible character. David, the actor, he's incredible. He's one of my favorite comedians I've worked with. He's a classically trained actor, and he brings everything to the role every time he rehearses it. So in the studio, it was larger than life. So I can't wait to see what he does for an audience.
Absolutely, yeah. He is always on, always bringing it, and it's really inspiring to work with such a dedicated actor who's so committed to this character, and I think it shows, and I think it will show when people see the performance.
How do you feel today?
It was a really good night.
Everything. It's the gamut. And I give myself that freedom. I look at you. I give myself that freedom to go from terror to delight through rage to end up at despondent, to end up on the other side of a kind of paranoid, paranormal suspicion. I run the gamut of emotions. Actually, I see emotions as a circle. And so today to appear in front of the international press, this is incredible. The idea that you're focusing your high-def lenses on that Carlisle sign and broadcasting it out to the world, it's a relief. And I had to apologize to the members of the media because I've been hounding you guys for years and really building up a resentment. And then I realized I hadn't hit send on any of the emails. They were all saved as drafts. And so it's great that you came here today and we were able to work through that because I'm on the other side of the resentment. You didn't know that you were subject to that resentment. And now we can start fresh. Okay?
You got it.
Okay.
This was great. What did today mean to you? You're getting ready to start performances on Friday night.
Friday night, and it starts to be about all kinds of things. I don't know if you know anything about theater, but it starts to become about lights, sound, sets, what's that prop, what's going to crush me, it starts to become about the plasticity of the materiality of it. And you start to say, why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? This is just frustrating. I don't like this. Tech rehearsal, standing around for hours and hours and hours, 10 out of 12. Why am I doing this? And so every so often I look at that Carlisle picture and I just blink 20 times just to refresh. Carlisle, 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 Carlisle. That's what it's about. That's why we're doing this story. So, and I make the boys do it too. Because they start to get kind of sleepy, and I jostled them. I said, blink. And even Andrew, the poor spotlight girl, I make everyone do this routine. It's based on brain science, something called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. You do these eye movements, and it reprograms your brain. So we're not only on the cutting edge of big data. We're using Google Analytics. We're also using neuroscience to help keep the cast kind of refreshed.
Cute boys.
Oh, they're darling. They're darling, and they're absolutely as sweet as pie, and they're the most tolerant cast members because I crumble just about every 5 minutes, and they have carried me through this. There's been multiple really late night, disturbing role play, psychodramatical kind of enactments, and I'll say, sit in that chair. You're my father. Get out of that chair. He was absent. I do all that kind of stuff. Is how we built this play, because we zoom back to my childhood. We zoom through my showbiz history with Carlisle, from vaudeville to Broadway to our nightclub act, and it's a whole kind of what have I been saying? It's a theatrical fantasia on feline themes.
Okay, what has your writer contract been like to get you here to do this show?
Extensive. First of all, no yellow M&Ms. And that's just a fail-safe. It's how I make sure that everything else with the production is set. No yellow M&Ms. There's a very specific kind, the actors out there, there's a very specific kind of square Ricola. And if there's those round, lemony Ricolas, I know the square Ricolas, chamomile tea, throat coat tea. There's other kinds of strange, supernatural sort of things I've had to take care of. I hired my shaman to come into the theater, and this is an exclusive. I hired my shaman to come into the theater, and she blessed the space. Well, don't you know, we have to thank the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater because they perform here in this space a great deal. They took such good care spiritually of this space that there was a proliferation of positive spirits. There were too many kind of happy little ghosts and little imps and giggling little goblins, and she had to clear them out. And I said, send them to some of the shows that are struggling. Send them some happy spirits. And then one of the boys, we found out, had a curse on him, so she lifted the curse. That was really scary. But it's not, having a curse is not anything to take personal. It's usually a romantic entanglement from the past that has caused it, or a callback audition.
Well, you're bringing your show to the Broadway area. You start on Friday. What's been the best part of this experience working with your director, Andrew?
Andrew and I have a complicated relationship. Andrew of CardinalTheatricals.com, as he keeps reminding me, making sure his name's over, on the poster, bold font. We fight a lot about font size, 16, 14, bold. There's a lot of really intense negotiations over fonts and the scale. Andrew, God, he's a good kid. He does a lot. He's busy. He's a busy kid. He makes these faces, these blank faces that are hard in rehearsal. And I find myself going, what will make you care? What will make you care? And then I put the Broadway boy in the chair. You're my father. Get out of the chair. My father was absent. And meanwhile, I'm falling apart. I'm imploding emotionally. And what is Andrew doing? Thinking about the glitter, thinking about the curtains, and so, that's all right. That's all right. He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
My final question is, what are you looking forward to the most Friday night?
Sharing the story with people. As it gets to a point where I can't do this story to Andrew Rasmussen anymore and his blank faces. He just won't give me anything at all. All the jokes have dried up. Nobody cares. And so I need those fresh people. And we're going out. I'll be running around town with Andrew stuck inside a Carlisle mascot outfit to get we want them all. We want the tourists. We want the bloggers. We want the hipsters. We want the young people, the old people. We'll take them all. You will all love this show. You will be entertained. You will walk out thinking, wow. And we want them all. And when I'm up there on that stage, it is so therapeutic. I reach out through song, through story, through words, and they reach out to me and we meet in the middle. And my story becomes their story. And isn't that why we do this? Isn't it why? It is. All the press and the pictures and the videos and the viral things and the blog posts and the press and the people and the set and the lights, the costume, the scenery, the makeup, the lights, all that stuff doesn't matter a whit if we don't have a story to tell. And we've got it because I've lived it. And I'm ready to live it out on stage, off Broadway. Carlisle, how I love you, my dear old Carlisle. I'd give the world to see my one and only. Can't you why you left your smithy with nothing but a cap box full of old hard brown boobies. My little cat, well, wonder no more. I'll lead you through the service door. Hey, that's me. I love my crazy old cat. I just had a mini stroke. Don't worry, I'm okay. The show must go on, right, fellas? My dear old Carlisle, I'd give the world if I could only be sitting on my kitty's knee. I love his all cats. I love his whiskers. Oh, my honey lamb, you left me down in Alabama. Mammy. No, that's stupid. That lyric is offensive. I'm sorry. Don't be offended. My cat will no longer roam. I'm gonna bring my Carlisle. Preview speaking Friday night. Goodbye, I'm Mrs. Smith.